So we're both Garfield. We both hate Mondays.
Yes. Even more so because I had to go into work today.
I had to go to a freaking doctor's appointment and have my daughter get shot up like 4 times.
Yeah, so we're both not in good moods today.
Yes, go ahead, flaunt your job all over me, but I'm a parent. I had to deal with other things. I had to deal with my daughter screaming betrayal at her parents. Especially since these were the 4 nastier shots that a baby has to get. So it's one of those things where I actually had to... I got pulled away from the doctor's table, and I had to basically clench the seat, or the seat that they give you in the doctor's office, to keep myself from turning around and probably punching the nurse to get my baby away from her. That was not fun. It never is. So, what I'm going to feel really bad about right now is that as of when we were doing this recording, she was put down for a nap, which we probably just ruined. That's the way it goes. So anyway, in order to get away from these controversial topics, Alex, it might be a good idea for us to go into our anime updates. So we can add even more controversy to the mix.
Yeah, but all you have to generally report is Gundam.
Well, right now it is, But so when we were recording last time, we were doing a Gundam Wing update for you. Have you since watched a little bit more? I know you took K-On! With you.
Yeah.
Did you bring Gundam Wing with you to the vacation?
No, I didn't bring Gundam Wing.
I'm a little offended by that, because he got on my case the last time we went to Moab. Not this time, because I'd finished it by then. But the previous time we went to Moab, which was like 2 years ago, he got on my case for not bringing K-On! Because I wanted to watch other things. Mainly because I knew that we were going to be going on the trail, so we weren't going to have a whole lot of time anyway. Besides, we have our own little fun activities that we like to do when we're out there, which is we like to test the internet in the hotel.
Right.
By watching really dumb Power Rangers episodes, and then laughing wherever it crashes. It's like internet roulette. You can't not be entertained by it.
Right.
In fact, this year we did Digimon, and it was funny just to see, because not only so we're watching Digimon Season 4, and you can only watch that on Hulu. And Hulu's ad system sucks.
I hate Hulu. I'd rather pirate than watch Hulu.
Well, I don't want to pirate.
Wow.
So, because I'm better than that. Yeah, I'm adding fuel to the fire with these Star Race people. Pirates. So at that point, we were watching it, and it sounds to me like you've watched a little bit of Hulu. So you've seen how their ad system works, right?
Yes, and it's obnoxious
how it abruptly will interrupt something to do 3 ads?
Yes.
So we were not only testing the internet just to see when it would crash, but also when the ad system would come in and just ruin a heroic speech or something. It happened all over the place. It was great. It was great.
The Sunburn. I fucking hate these
What have you watched on Hulu?
I'm trying to think what I've watched. I think I've watched some anime before on Hulu. This was a while ago, though. And I've watched, any live-action TV show that isn't in syndication anywhere.
I'll at least give a little bit of credit to Hulu, just because, first of all, its anime library is bigger than places like Netflix. So it does have a lot more stuff that I'm interested in. Like, if I have a spat where I want to go watch a bunch of old Lupin the Third episodes, they have Lupin. Kind of thing.
Fuck yes!
I always will appreciate Hulu for that. In fact, they have the full Yu-Gi-Oh! Archive, so if I want to watch, some random episode in the middle of the grand tournament or something, I can watch it. Whereas Netflix only has 2 seasons. And I think Amazon's the same with that. No, actually, Amazon doesn't even have Yu-Gi-Oh! They have the recent one, the Zexal. So I'll at least give compliment to Hulu, but yeah, their ad system is stupid.
God, stop dying, Black Rose! Piece of shit!
See, now he's cursing now. That's the way. Now balance is restored. That's the way it goes. I love it. We went into the worst streaming service. That's the way it goes, people. That's the way it goes.
Fuck! Put the fucking magical defense down.
So technically, you don't have an anime update.
No, I
my
don't.
update is pretty much from the last recording session, which is I actually was able to watch a few more episodes into Double Zeta. I'm about 38 to 40 episodes in, and so I have no problem admitting I'm a little confused. I am a little bit. So first of all, pretty much all of the episodes that I watched are not like in their own arcs. Okay, so they're establishing things that are going to come later, including the fact that our new assistant to the villain has been revealed in Puru 2. So you might remember a couple of times ago I mentioned a character by the name of LPO Puru.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it turns out that Glemmy Toto, the guy who took Judao's sister,
right?
He, in his basement of his ship, he has a bunch of cryotubes. And it turns out that he's actually holding a bunch of clones and really powerful new types in his basement in cryotubes. And one of them is a clone named Puru 2. This is why people were asking about LPO Puru, is because they knew Puru 2 was coming. As of right now where I've watched, I don't think she's out of the tube yet, so, but I do know that she's going to come in later and be a formidable problem. What are my thoughts on it? Okay, I guess. It's a clone. I'll be more interested to see what they do with the character than just hinting at, what she is. The other thing that got to happen that actually made me a little happy was Camille came back. So you'll remember when I did my intro, Camille was kind of in a comatose state.
Mm-hmm.
He was not in a shape to fight or anything like that. In fact, he wasn't even speaking. He just had a blank stare.
Right.
He's had some improvements since then. So he can move around. He can understand people, but he can't talk still.
Right.
He can't. Well, he can, but only through weird new type communications, like through emotions. Because they actually had an episode where everybody was like in really dire straits, and he actually guided them through it. He was like, "No, here's what you need to do. You need to duck and then retort with this ability, and you'll be fine." And everyone was like, "Who? What's this voice?" And the only person who knew who it was Judao, because he's heard that voice before. So we had Camille come back. He's not resuming any kind of pilot status or anything like that. I think he's done. I don't think he can pilot anymore. But it's kind of cool for him to be able to say, well, I can't communicate, but I can use my new type powers still.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty cool to be able to happen. It does make me sad, though. I wanted to see, like, the Zeta get handed off to him. Because the Zeta's his. It was made for him. And I would love to see him kind of re-enter the fray. But given his current state, I kind of understand why you can't do that. We also had... what's her name? I want to call her Airhead because she's kind of the ditzy pilot on the team. She came back after having her little stint of emo.
Right.
And pretty much the most that has happened in these episodes have been kind of character development. Judao dealing with the fact that Lena's dead, and also kind of reaffirming to Puru that yes, while she has a place in his life, she's not replacing his sister, kind of thing. Which is, actually, they had a really good moment in that regard, where they actually handed, I guess, Lena's old school outfit to Puru, and she put it on. And it bothered Judao a little bit. But then and here's why I think that was a good way to handle it, like, he lashed out a little bit at her, but then he explained to her, it's perfect because it's her size, but it still kind of bothers him because he's still reminded of Lena.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was a nice touch to be able to do that. It's funny because the series started off as kind of a comedic series, and now it's taking a more serious tone.
Right.
Which is what I'm used to, because comedic things happen. We've made fun of Wing who knows how many times.
Yeah.
Comedic things happen throughout each Gundam series, but I like having a serious tone in it. Not saying you can't have a silly episode. They all did. I especially love and see Destiny when they had the shopping episode. Because, Kira got called on his BS. On how he was very much, unless it came to concepts of battle, he was very easy to please. And so finally, Lacus came out. She'd worn like 3 outfits. He's like, that's fine too. It's like, are you even paying attention? What? I'm totally paying attention. I love that. I love that episode. Or the other one is the, what was it? The yogurt and hot sauce, where Andrew Waldfeld and Kigali are trying to get him to put that on his taco or whatever.
Right.
That was a good episode too. So there are funny moments. And I like those, but I do like the fact when a Gundam series keeps more of a serious tone. But actually, what's taken up most of my time has been, I had to get a whole week's worth of material done so that I could take a vacation. But also, a lot of the major seasons that I was waiting for have since come out in streaming. So I just barely finished Jessica Jones Season 1, Daredevil Season 2, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3. I'm waiting on the DC ones, but I wanted to be able to watch some of that. And I finally got around to watching Voltron Legendary Defender on Netflix.
Right.
And somebody actually did want me to leave a comment when I had seen it, so here we go. Hi, Evil Staryu.
Evil Staryu.
I'm sorry, this is Cthulian Horror Staryu. Because there's teeth involved. Lots and lots of teeth. So, my thoughts on Voltron Legendary Defender. First of all, it is a Voltron series made by the Avatar and Korra people. And man, it's great. It's really good.
Fuck these.
What?
Fuck these stupid things.
Oh, okay. For a second there, I was like, fuck the Avatar people, what?
No.
What did they do? So yeah, they did Voltron Legendary Defender, and I love absolutely what they've done with it. Because here's the thing, I love Voltron, Defender of the Universe, the original series that came out. I've seen some episodes of Beast King, the Lion, I like Voltron better. But even I will admit, Voltron had flaws. And actually, in my opinion, the older you get, the more not watchable it is.
Right.
Because it's very much a monster of the day plotline. You know? It's Power Rangers, in essence. No, it is Power Rangers. It is. It's like Power Rangers before Power Rangers. I don't know if Sentai was out before then, but...
Oh, yeah, Sentai's been out since the 70s.
So, like, Emperor Zarkon would send out or Hagar would send out a Robeast, and the Voltron Force would get together, summon up Voltron, and save the day, okay? It's the same format, all right? Monster of the day. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. In fact, I love the crappy dub, because I got Sven out of it. I got Sven, and I like doing the Sven voice. But this one actually tried to have a legit story following it. And it's great. So, not only do we have kind of a Monster of the Day format, but we actually have a whole story of... First of all, you had... like the first episode of Voltron, you had to find the lions. Then they had to learn how to assemble it. Then eventually they decide to go back to Earth with the castle and the lions to defend the universe. And on the way, they decide to save a planet, kind of thing. So you have, like, a story structure going along. And one of the things that I actually do love, and I'm going to go spoiler heavy, so sorry, guys. If you guys don't want to be spoiled, watch the previous parts of this Let's Play and then come back to this one after you've watched it. But they actually did an interesting reveal where Zarkon, leader of the Galra Empire, which I don't think the Empire actually had a name in the original series. It was just the Empire.
The Empire.
But in this one, it's the Galra Empire. Where they actually hint that either... So before this team, there were previous pilots of Voltron. Okay? And they kind of hint that either Zarkon defeated one of the previous pilots of Voltron and took his weapon, or that he might be that pilot, and that pilot got corrupted. So that's an interesting turn, because like originally in the series, Zarkon was just he was Lord Zed with 10 times less personality. Okay, he was just leading things. 80% of the time, we were either dealing with the witch Hagar, who was the one sending out the monster of the day, and she was Rita Repulsa before Rita Repulsa, guys. Or we were dealing with Prince Lotor, Zarkon's son, and the guy who wanted to prove himself to defeat Voltron. Okay? Typical villain stuff. But that's all we ever dealt with. This one actually gave us a villain structure that is worthwhile and actually gets us invested. And even the characters are even more investing than they were originally, because, look, I love Power Rangers just as much as everybody does, but even I have to admit that the original Power Rangers, they were way too goody two-shoes for their own good. Okay? I'm sorry, but no high school kid, no teenager is going to go off and do every single charitable event in their town. It's not going to happen. And the original Voltron Force was kind of like that. This one actually tries to say, okay, there is distinct differences while still sticking to the personalities that they have. Mm-hmm. So, for example, Lance, he's in this one. He's brash. He's the maverick of the team. You know, the hotshot pilot, but is way too interested in showing off.
We got Virus Core X.
So Mega Man X can join us now?
I guess so.
Okay, cool. He can join us for six games, and then on the 7th one, he's gonna go violence, and go whine like a little bitch. Anyway,
I wonder what he's fighting for.
What am I fighting? No, that was Zero. That was Zero.
Yeah, that was Zero, but I still love that line.
What am I fighting for? So you have Lance, then you have Hunk, who is the, if you've seen the trailer, right?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so he's the big guy of the group. He likes to eat. He's also an engineer. They stuck with that in this one. In fact, they actually made him a little timid. So food is like his comfort. So whenever things go to crap, he wants to eat.
Right.
The only one where they actually modified it was Keith, because Keith, the original Keith, at least as far as I'm concerned, didn't really have much of a personality. He was generic good guy. He was Jason. That's who he was. He was Jason, the original Red Ranger. That's who Keith was. This time around, they actually made him kind of an anti-Lance. So, you know, Lance is the hot dog and pilot.
Right.
But Keith is the pilot that's better. And better in so many ways, but then we have to have Lance go, well, I could have done that too. I just chose not to. Kind of thing. So I like the fact that they gave him personality. And they replaced Sven. No! I love myself some Sven.
Made in heaven.
With, I can't remember his name, but basically he's the stereotypical, he's the new Jason. He's like, we're gonna do things for good sake. Even though he has a dark backstory that we don't really know. He's been experimented on by the Galra. Well, basically there's like a 15-year gap where he was a prisoner of the Galra. And so at that point, we don't know what actually happened to him. And we get hints here and there that maybe he's been augmented a little bit. Since when he was a prisoner, he was also a gladiator.
Ooh.
So.
Level 90 weapon for a heavy blade.
Too bad you don't have a heavy blade. Oh, wait, you do.
I do. It's called Black Rose.
Great. A sword that she shouldn't be able to carry. At all.
Welcome to MMOs.
So, yeah, pretty much. MMOs, where the default armor for women is a huge midriff and makes them look like an Amazon. So...
Use Sprite Ocarina. To the surface we return.
No, if you want to see Linkara's equation of armor on a character, but not for villains, go look at an MMO, because it's perfect. So if you're a guy, the more armor goes on you, and if you're a girl, the less armor goes on you.
Yeah. Strikingly, that's something, for the most part, the Monica Magica manga I've been reading has been avoiding, actually. Because the women are pretty decently armored.
That's not going to last long, I don't think. Pretty soon that manga is going to get adapted, and what's going to happen? Skimpy armor. This is what happens.
I'd like it if that got adapted. I'm kind of doubting it.
I would like it if for no other reason than to just have that moment where the girls question it. Like, how is this supposed to protect me? Because that would be a great moment. I'd love that breaking the fourth wall as kind of moment. Anyway, so yeah, I love Voltron Legendary Defender. I recommend it wholeheartedly to anybody who has a Netflix membership. And in fact, I'm going to try and get Alex to watch Legendary Defender. Just because I think it's something you would enjoy too. Because you've watched Avatar. You just haven't watched Korra.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a feeling you'd like it. Because you're also a Power Rangers fan. And this is gonna hit those Power Rangers veins a little bit. The other thing that people wanted me to talk about with Voltron, and I'm just going to address it really quick, was the amazing, quote, amazing reveal of Pidge being a girl.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is going to take a little bit of history. In the original Voltron series, Alex, Pidge was a guy.
Okay.
Here's why that doesn't matter. In the original series, Pidge was so freaking androgynous that he could have been a girl and we would never have known or cared.
You sure I could...
Okay.
Because he was a character that talked like this. So that's kind of hot, and it might have worked. Plus, he also kind of had more of a feminine look to him, so I'm just saying, as a Voltron fan, I wouldn't have cared if Pidge was a girl. I really wouldn't have. And I love the fact that people are bringing this up as like, oh my gosh, it's such a dramatic reveal! No, not really. Here's the bigger reveal. Again, Pidge had really no history in the original series. They were all soldiers of Galaxy Garrison. That's all you needed to know. Moving on. This one, they actually did... backstory. So... Here's her amazing backstory. And just tell me how you think of this, Alex.
Okay.
She had an older brother.
Mm-hmm.
Her dad was a scientist.
Okay. So she had her Nisama and her dad was a scientist.
Her senpai, to notice her.
Senpais are older classmates, not generally their older siblings.
I really don't care. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you connect the dots.
Learn your
Hideo Kojima powers activate. Moving on.
Learn your honorifics and their usage.
No.
Yes.
Moving on. I'm an anime fan. I'm not a hardcore anime fan. Moving on.
You're right. You're filthy casual.
And yet you spend time with me. So whose reputation does that degrade, my friend? You or me?
I guess me more.
Yes.
I'm hanging with the filthy casual.
Because you're hanging with the filthy casual. And technically, I mean, that's okay because I'm hanging out with the filthy casual when it comes to gaming.
That's true. It all balances out.
So here's the backstory. Dad was a scientist. Brother was kind of the scientist's assistant. Mm-hmm. They went off to an assignment on Pluto. The same assignment that the Black Lion guy was on. He was supposed to guard them, and then they went to go be prisoners of the Gallery.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Galaxy Garrison didn't know what was going on, so they decided to cover it up.
I don't need Appanid.
Which,
God.
Since she's a
this
hacker...
girl, get your ass back here.
Again, since she's a hacker, she ain't standing for that shit. So she starts trying to hack Galaxy Garrison to get the truth out.
Mm-hmm.
And is told, no, that's not going to work. So her answer to that is, okay, in order for me to be able to do this, is to be a student in Galaxy Garrison. I don't know why she didn't think she could just go in as a female
Black Rose,
student.
Get your ass back here.
Again, I'm not sure why she didn't think she couldn't just go in as a female student, but instead she decides to cut her hair because she looks kind of like her older brother.
Mm-hmm.
And go in as a boy.
Okay.
Here's the thing, though. The character itself, the character model, or the way it's drawn, could have been male or female, and it doesn't really matter. I really, honestly. Because she wears such baggy clothing anyway, the only time that you ever knew she was a girl was in this backstory she's wearing a dress. That's how you knew. And the people that wanted me to talk about this specifically wanted me to talk about how she reveals herself to be a girl in one of the midway episodes.
Give me something.
And how the team is, quote, so accepting of it.
Uh-huh.
That's because she could have been a boy or a girl and nobody would have cared.
Mm-hmm.
She was the Green Lion pilot.